This is a historic moment for our country. I hereby announce that as of tomorrow, all security and defence affairs will be led and carried out by our own security forces.
It's the moment Americans have been waiting for over a decade. The moment when NATO forces hand over control to the Afghan government and begin the process of leaving the country. But with the 2014 deadline looming and the military looking to make its final exit from Afghanistan, what's going to happen with the billions of dollars worth of equipment remaining in the country? A new Washington Post article sheds some light on the drawdown, and it starts with the meltdown of military vehicles.
We've got about 11,000 mine-resistant, ambush-protected vehicles, MRAPs, in the country in Afghanistan, 2,000 of which are being destroyed, turned to scrap metal. The claim by the Defense Department is that the Afghanistan government won't be able to use them, won't be able to run them, and so it would be more expensive to bring them back to the U.S., about $2 to $3 billion to transport them, $8 to $9 billion to repair them. That's General Stein's claim in Afghanistan, but as a result, you're looking at a $7 billion waste.
Instead, 2,000 of these behemoths, which, by the way, cost $1 million a pop, will be melted down and turned into scraps, sold for pennies on the dollar. In fact, the Army plans on shipping back no more than 76% of all equipment in the country. But one group will profit from this waste.
It's a perfect coup for the defense contractors because they love this. Yeah, sure, destroy the equipment in country. It's terrible for the environment, terrible. It's a slight to the country saying that you can't actually use these MRAPs. But then it's a great opportunity for defense contractors to build more MRAPs or more equipment in the future.
It's a project contract workers have already begun to work on. Last month alone, Kandahar Yard produced 11 million pounds worth of scrap. But the obvious question is, why not leave those vehicles to the Afghans? And that's not the only concern opponents of the plan have.
It's a huge waste of taxpayer dollars. $7 billion gone, done. No one's benefiting. The Americans aren't benefiting, the Afghans aren't benefiting, so it's a huge waste of money. It's a huge environmental waste because there's a lot of toxins in those MRAPs. Some of the scrap metal will be used on the market, sold for nothing, but the environmental waste is huge. And then the political waste. I mean, it's a huge blow to the Afghan people to say, we don't trust you enough to provide both the equipment and the ability to keep that equipment restored and maintained going forward.
Now, this move isn't completely out of line with historical precedent. The military left behind millions of pieces of equipment in Iraq and moved others to Afghanistan. But with the U.S. planning its ultimate exit from the entire region, the so-called graveyard of empires could soon have another tank junkyard to mark a decade worth of war and of strife. In Washington, Megan Lopez, RT.